Could the Chinese yuan dethrone the US dollar and reshape the global economy? Dollar, long considered the king of currencies, is slowly losing its grip on power, and in the world reserves it falls below 60%. But is it possible that the yuan, a currency many dismissed as a contender, is set to become the new global standard? How will this monumental shift affect your savings, your investments, and your everyday purchases? Let's find out. Could it be that the dollar, once the mighty king of currencies, is facing its final days? The US dollar has long been considered the bedrock of global trade, the preferred currency for international transactions, and the primary reserve currency held by nations. But the facade is crumbling, and it's time we acknowledge the writing on the wall. The dollar's share in global reserves has plummeted to 59%, a staggering drop from 72% just 2 decades ago. What does this mean for the average American? Well, it could translate to less purchasing power and greater economic instability as the US finds itself increasingly isolated in a world moving toward currency diversification. Countries worldwide are now diversifying their reserves, opting for local currencies and gold over the dollar. This isn't merely a reaction to economic pressures, it's a calculated action to break free from the dollar's chokehold. The ongoing geopolitical tensions and sanctions against countries like Russia have only accelerated this shift. Countries are starting to see the dollar not as a safe haven, but as a potential liability that could endanger their own economic security. China, in particular, is capitalizing on the situation, advocating for the yuan's adoption in international trade. The Chinese government has launched initiatives encouraging nations to use the yuan for trade, seeking to elevate its status on the global stage. The message is clear. The world is ready for a new financial player, and it's not the dollar. So, will the yuan replace the dollar? China's currency is not merely challenging the dollar, it's strategically positioning itself as the preferred option in international trade. The yuan recently accounted for over 52.9% of China's cross-border payments, surpassing the dollar's 42.8%. This shift is monumental, signaling a significant change in global trade dynamics. How did we get here? Here's a reminder to please like and share the video, and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Africa's geopolitics, economy, and changing landscape. Let's continue now. The answer lies in China's relentless pursuit of economic power. The Chinese government has invested heavily in initiatives designed to strengthen the yuan's global standing, including the Belt and Road Initiative, which aims to enhance trade connections across Asia, Europe, and Africa. By linking its economic interests with those of other countries, China is effectively embedding the yuan in global trade networks. Additionally, the People's Bank of China has implemented several measures to encourage yuan usage. These include setting up currency swap agreements with multiple countries, allowing them to trade directly in yuan rather than relying on the dollar. This strategy not only boosts demand for the yuan, but also reduces reliance on the dollar, enhancing the currency's standing in global markets. Furthermore, as BRICS nations rally behind the yuan, the momentum is palpable. Countries like Brazil and Argentina are settling trade deals in yuan, further eroding the dollar's standing. This growing acceptance is reminiscent of the early days of the euro, which initially faced skepticism but has now established itself as a serious alternative to the dollar. And what would be the geopolitical impact of the yuan challenging the dollar? Geopolitical tensions escalate, and the stakes become higher than ever. As the yuan continues its ascent, the implications stretch deep into the fabric of global politics. The West, particularly the United States, has historically leveraged the dollar to exert influence worldwide. But what if that influence is slipping through their fingers? The rise of the yuan signifies more than just a shift in currency preference. It represents a challenge to US geopolitical dominance. As China pushes for local currencies in trade, nations are beginning to question their reliance on the dollar. This shift is leading to an unprecedented realignment in international relations, where alliances are forged based on economic cooperation rather than dollar dependence. The sanctions imposed on Russia catalyzed change, prompting countries to rethink their financial strategies. The message is clear. Relying on the dollar exposes nations to the whims of U.S. foreign policy. Countries like Iran and Venezuela, already facing sanctions, are exploring alternatives to mitigate their vulnerabilities. As these nations turn to the yuan, the dollar's position as the go-to currency is increasingly threatened. Moreover, as China enhances its gold reserves, now at 4.9% of total holdings, the move reflects a strategic pivot away from dollar assets. Nations are repatriating their gold reserves and exploring precious metals as a safe haven against dollar volatility. This trend isn't merely about securing assets. It's about establishing financial sovereignty in a world where the dollar's stability is in question. In response to these geopolitical shifts, the U.S. finds itself in a precarious position. Historically, the dollar has been a tool for U.S. foreign policy, allowing it to impose sanctions and exert influence. But as more countries adopt the yuan, the efficacy of these strategies diminishes. The global order is changing, and the U.S. must adapt or risk irrelevance on the world stage. But is it too late for the dollar to stage a comeback? As the yuan gains traction, the dollar is left grappling with a plethora of challenges. The decline in the dollar's dominance in global reserves is alarming, and the repercussions of this decline are likely to ripple across various sectors of the U.S. economy. The question now is, can the dollar adapt, or is it doomed to be a relic of the past? Historically, the dollar has maintained its supremacy through a combination of military might, economic strength, and strategic alliances. But in an era where countries are seeking alternatives, the dollar's grip is loosening. The relentless push for de-dollarization is gaining momentum, fueled by a desire for economic sovereignty and security. The question arises, will the U.S. government take proactive measures to secure the dollar's position, or will it remain complacent in the face of mounting challenges? The consequences of this transition are not limited to currencies. U.S. markets could face substantial losses as foreign investments dwindle in the face of an uncertain dollar future. Imagine a scenario where nations begin to shift their investments away from dollar-denominated assets. The repercussions would be devastating, potentially leading to a sharp decline in the stock market and increased volatility in financial markets. Moreover, as countries like China and Russia deepen their economic ties, the U.S. risks being sidelined in international trade. The emergence of alternative financial systems and trade networks could further isolate the dollar, reducing its relevance on the global stage. So, it gets hard for dollars to make a comeback. Now the question is, are we witnessing the dawn of a new financial order? As the yuan rises and the dollar falters, the global financial landscape is on the brink of transformation. The implications of these shifts extend far beyond mere currency valuation. They challenge the very foundation of the international economic system. China's push for the yuan as a dominant currency in global trade is not a mere financial exercise. It's a bold declaration of intent. The country is crafting a narrative that positions it as a leader in the global economy, one that is increasingly unafraid to challenge Western hegemony. This newfound confidence is echoed in China's ambitious initiatives, such as the Belt and Road Initiative, which aims to foster economic ties and integrate countries into its economic sphere of influence. As the BRICS nations bolster their local currencies and encourage cross-border transactions, the ramifications are profound. The dollar's declining influence may lead to a reconfiguration of international alliances, with nations seeking partnerships that enhance their economic resilience against dollar volatility. Furthermore, the ongoing rise of alternative currencies could herald a new era of financial diplomacy, one that prioritizes mutual benefit over unilateral power. The emergence of blockchain technology and digital currencies also plays a crucial role in this transformation. Countries are exploring innovative solutions that facilitate cross-border trade without relying on traditional banking systems, further eroding the dollar's dominance. As countries align with the yuan, the message is clear. The world is ready for change, and the dollar is on notice. Do you think the yuan will replace the dollar soon? What would happen after that? Will China become the most powerful nation? Let us know in the comment section. Can the US do anything to save its dollar? Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. we have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: African politics, economy, and increasing power. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.
Tell us what you think in the comment section. Like and share the video, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our African videos. It's the best way to support us.